Hello YouTubers, this is EMDSD14R, and this video is Project Genesis. Basically what Project Genesis is the upgrading of my Athearn Blue box Genesis units with the correct coupler height. That's what stage 1 is, of course, because if you saw my previous video when I was showing the ready to roll Genesis here, this is P42 number 108. When I was showing it and I showed you the coupler height, this particular unit came out of the box with the correct coupler height, and it has the scale couplers on it. But unfortunately, my two Athearn Blue boxes were not designed that way. And if you look at the ready to roll model, you see how Athearn upgraded the frame so that there's a gap between the truck and the frame, whereas let's use the P40 number 32 here, whereas on the other units, the blue boxes, they didn't have such a gap between the frame and the truck. So that means the units actually sit lower than what they're supposed to, and that actually conflicts with the coupler height. Now there's actually one of two ways you can actually go about adjusting that. The hardest way is actually milling down the coupler boxes and getting the appropriate height. That's the hardest way, or if you're a professional, it wouldn't be too hard, but it's still difficult because you have to keep everything even. The other option is getting under shank couplers, which would be at the correct height, but that kind of would look silly on these units. So since I have experience with milling the coupler boxes on other locomotives down anyway, I just went ahead and did that, and I took the 107 apart to show you exactly what I did rather than doing the P40 number 32. I actually, if you can look in there, I actually milled down the coupler boxes. They're completely flat. I actually made these slightly too thin. If you can look at that, they're actually way too thin. They're way too thin. The cast metal's too thin. It's still strong, but it wasn't, you know, I didn't want to take the chance of having it be weak. So I took 0.250 styrene and I super glued it onto the top of each coupler box. Not coupler box, but you know, the frame where the coupler's held on, just to give it rigidity and strength, because I didn't want that, you know, those breaking, because I did cut them way too thin. Let me see if I can show you this. If you look at the 108 right here, you can see, if I can get the camera, right there where the cast frame is, right where that gap is, that's the thickness that it should be. Now I did that correctly on this unit here, but I didn't do that correctly on that unit. I actually cut the cast metal too thin, like I said, but the good thing is the coupler height is correct. So yeah, I'm gonna reassemble the unit real quick and I'm gonna show you. Okay, I reassembled the 107, and I have the 108 here. The 108 can't move yet because I still got to get that DCC jumper board in it, but it's going to be converted to DCC, so I might just go ahead and skip that step altogether. But anyway, I got the 107 back together. I had the shelf couplers, shelf type E couplers on both ends, as I do on the P40 number 32. So let me move this unit forward, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Zoom in on the couplers. There we go. You guys will actually see that the coupler height is correct. See that? Coupler height matches the 108. So that was just a little demonstration right there. Now let me just uncouple them because, yeah. And the same thing at the rear here. course, the 32 is coupled up to the 107. So the coupler height is correct. Let me just back the units up. Number 107 is going to get a complete refit done. I'm going to get, let me just use this as an illustration, or that's terrible. I need a screwdriver or something. Yeah. I'm going to get the windows. When I bought it, it was already like this. I mean, I bought it brand new, but when I bought it brand new, this was already like this. There was a lot of stuff that was wrong with the blue box kit. The back windshield, the window here shattered. So I'm probably gonna buy ready-to-roll parts to remove the original trucks, because the ready-to-roll trucks really look, I mean, they're pretty much the same, but it seems like they're a lot more crisper in detail. I don't know if that's just me or how they painted it. I don't know. And I definitely need a new plow for it. But anyway, get your trusty Kadee coupler height checker. Now, there are a couple ones that are out right now, but I recommend Kadee. Kadee makes some like awesome trucks, like freight car trucks and wheels and couplers, and they make the coupler height checker, and I think this is like $3 or $5, I think, maybe less than that. But if you look, if you look where the metal plate is right here, let me zoom in on that. Where the metal plate is right here, you want your coupler pin to be just above that, because if your coupler pin is below that, it's going to snag on your switches and whatnot, and you don't want that. So this is the 108 over here, the ready to roll, and you know, let me show you exactly what I mean. The coupler height should be correct. Always check your freight car coupler height, your passenger cars, and your locomotives, especially if you're custom making one. If you do some alterations to the coupler boxes on the frame, you got to make sure your couplers are the correct height. I mean, you can buy undershank and overshank couplers, but I try not to use them as much as I can. Let me just push this. See? That's what your desired coupler height should be. That's National Model Railroad Association standards right there. Your couplers should be that. It doesn't even matter if they are the shelf couplers. Always check that your pin is above the plate, and always check the centering of your couplers. Like, pretend there's an invisible line between your two couplers here. Make sure that that line is completely centered, no matter if it's a non-scale coupler or a scale coupler. This is a non-scale coupler, this is a scale coupler. Even if they're not, even if they're two different, even if it's a scale versus a non-scale coupler, they should be perfectly aligned in the center, in the knuckle. If you're a little bit high, that's okay. If you're a little bit low, that's okay, because that's really not too big of a deal. But if you're really down here, then that's a problem. You need to get that changed. So always make sure you check your coupler height, your pin height, and the centering of your knuckle couplers for future references. I've been using this for years and never had any issues with it. So, and this is kind of like a I don't know what this weight. I think that's like a counter. That's not really a counterweight, but I don't know what it's for. But you can even screw this to your layout. If you see that hole, you can even screw this to your layout to check your coupler height if you need to. So I just wanted to show you guys what my current projects are. I've been doing a lot lately. You know what, I might as well throw this in there since I don't really have, I can throw a little bit extra in here just because. This is a Mantua aluminum bodied baggage car. That's right, it's real aluminum. This is not that metal finish paint. This is a real aluminum car. The metal finish paint is supposed to represent stainless steel, but this is actual aluminum. It's not fake. I actually had this I bought this from Nicholas Smith about a year ago, and I never was able to run it properly because it had the metal frame with the metal trucks with the plastic wheels and the metal wheels on it, and it would just short out my track, so I wasn't able to run it. But I actually custom made styrene bolsters for it, super glued them to the frame, and I added superliner car trucks to it. You're probably saying that's not prototypically accurate, which it's true, it's not prototypically accurate. I don't think any baggage cars in Amtrak's fleet have superliner car trucks, but it really looks cool on the model, and I had the trucks laying around anyway, so I said I might as well use them. Really haven't had any issues out of this car. Sometimes it does jump once in a while, but it really doesn't jump that often. It's got a lot of weight to it. I am going to go ahead and put some more glue on those bolsters just to make sure that they don't go anywhere. I mean, Zap-A-Gap glue is strong, but you can still remove it if you really want to, so I'm probably just going to get some stronger super glue. And these are my 3 original Bachmann Amfleet coaches that I've had for years. I got these with my very first Amtrak F40 PH. If you guys remember the Bachmann Amtrak sets, they had the F40 and then they had the 3 Amfleet coaches, and these came from that set. I added the styrene blocks to it, Kadee long shank couplers on both ends. I weathered the wheels, of course. The wheels are actually finished to look like they're brand new, because I've seen several Amfleets. Matter of fact, if you look at my Amtrak Autumn Special video, the one where I filmed it at Paley, you actually see in that train's consist several several Amfleet, a couple, if not one Amfleet 2 in the consist that actually has a set of new wheels on it, and you can see that they're a rusted color, indicating it's new set of wheels. I did all that with these cars, rusted the wheels, and then the ones that AMH 9217 sent me many years ago, I did the same thing with them, body mounted the couplers. I had to use an undershank coupler on this end of the car because for some reason the floor on this end was lower than the floor on that end of the car. I don't know why. I don't think that's the way the plastic bowed or something, but everybody else is fine. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. So every piece of Amtrak rolling stock I have is pretty much up to date as far as equipment is concerned. I mean, I do have my SDP40F I still got to work on, or my I think it's an SDP40, SDP40F. I'm pretty sure that's right. Yeah, I'm right about that. And then that's in the phase 1 scheme. I got to get that working properly. I mean, it still runs, but I got to upgrade it. All the blue boxes, they're going to get new motors in them. I mean, the motors in them are good. This one actually runs super quiet. I don't know why it runs super quiet, but it's like, this thing is like, it's almost as quiet as a Kadee engine. Might as well say it's a Kadee engine. Matter of fact, let me just move this guy out the way a little bit, because I don't think you guys can actually, you won't be able to, it won't do you justice if I don't just, these shelf couplers are a pain. Hold on, guys. Let me just put y'all, look at the 108 for a second. Just look at the 108 for now, because I don't want to do this on camera. This is kind of embarrassing. Just thinking shelf couplers are a pain. But that's what they're supposed to do. Alright, so there's the 107. She's running a little bit noisy now because I disassembled her, but that's how she normally sounds. She's pretty quiet, but I'm gonna get her fixed up, get her rebuilt, upgraded, of course. And not gonna have too much of an issue with that. I'm probably gonna get Mishima motors in them. I'm definitely gonna get Northwest Shortline nickel silver wheels and install on them, just because And then I got to get my P32 ACDM from Metro North done. I got to find that locomotive. That's my other Genesis that I have. So I have four Genesis locomotives in my collection. So I got the 3 Amtrak, and then I got the Metro North. That's all the Genesis units that I have so far. I think I might make 2 more purchases of Athearn Blue boxes that are at Nicholas Smith, but I'm probably just going to skip ahead and get the DCC ready to roll models, because they are already at the correct coupler height. Everything is installed in them. If I don't have a pain of putting stuff, I mean, okay, I admit I do like putting stuff on model trains. Yes, depends on the brand. I like doing Kadees because, you know, how the railings are and stuff. Athearn Blue boxes, I do like them. I admit that I do like putting stuff on them if it's not too much of a headache, because they have the stamped metal parts like the railings and stuff. I do like that. I wish Athearn would have stuck with the stamped metal in their Genesis line, but yeah, can't have everything. So probably just gonna get 2 more Athearn Blue box Genesis units that I've been seeing up at Nicholas Smith, but they are expensive. They are expensive. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, they're like $50-something for one Athearn Blue box Genesis, and I'm looking at it, I'm saying, yeah, they are brand spanking new, but $50-something? I'm not even sure. I know it was close to 50. I know it was close to 50. I know, pretty sure it was close to $50, like 45, 46 bucks for one engine. I'm like, yeah, if I'm gonna spend $50 on a blue box, I might as well just go for a ready to roll instead. You know, I mean, I kind of would be saving money if I bought the blue box, but the thing is, if I bought the blue box, I would have to do everything that I did to these two just to get the coupler height right. Whereas with this one, I didn't have to do anything. I am going to change the couplers though. The McHenry couplers on them are nice, but I don't really like. I'm phasing out all plastic couplers in my collection. Anything that has a plastic coupler that's a Easy Mate or McHenry, it's got to go. I'm going all Kadees. It doesn't matter. Kadees are going in. Plastic is going out. You know, that's just what I'm doing. It's a big investment, but it's worth it. I've done it. It's worth it, because in the long run, the plastic couplers probably won't last as long. From what I've experienced, Easy Mate couplers don't last that long. I mean, they last long if you don't use them that much, but when your trains get longer, they have a tendency to break, or they have a tendency to uncouple. Whereas with the Kadee couplers, you can put as much tension on them as you want, and they won't break. I mean, let me just go ahead and do this for demonstration purposes. I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of extra long video tonight, cause you know, I mean, I'm gonna give y'all a demonstration. Y'all probably seen this train. Now my Sioux line, that has Kadee couplers on it. There's a long shank coupler on the front, so I can clear the front plow. Short, there's a medium, there's a regular shank coupler on the rear, and then my Rio Grande has a Kadee on it. One Kadee, actually, yeah, one Kadee and one McHenry. I got to get these cars upgraded because they have plastic couplers, plastic. The rest of these are drawbar dummy couplers, so I'm probably going to switch those all to Kadees. Plastic on this end. These two BL and E cars have Kadees. Some of these D, M, I, and R ore cars have, most of them have drawbars, but a lot of them, like the ones here at the rear, they have knuckle couplers. Some of them have Kadees. All the old-time Michigan-style ore cars here, they have Kadee shelf couplers or regular Kadees. Some of them have undershank couplers because of the height. But yeah, all the older ore cars here, they have Kadees on them. My rail box, Kadees. Central Vermont, custom painted, came with Kadees. My custom painted PRR boxcar, put Kadees on it. My Seaboard Coastline caboose has Easy Mate couplers on it, but that's just temporary because I needed to put something on it. So I gotta have something on there temporarily. These aren't Kadees, I forget what they are. I think they're, forget what they are, but they're similar to Kadees. They're by Walthers. Kadees on that one. Kadees. Everything in here, Kadees. Everything on the interlock over there, Kadee's. It's like, it's Kadee-itis down here. So that's what I'm doing. That's a big project. I still got maybe, I'd say 50 to 60 freight cars left to do for Kadee coupler installation. That's just the repair. That's just the repair of freight cars. I mean, that's how many I have to repair, like upgrade with couplers, metal wheels, and so on. I know I have a lot in my collection that still have plastic couplers on them, so I probably have anywhere between 80 to 90 freight cars alone that need Kadee metal couplers on them. Because I go through my boxes and I find stuff that has plastic couplers on it, and if it was a problematic car, I swap it out. But yeah, enough of my rambling. Yeah, that's what I've been doing. That's Project Genesis. I'll probably have another installment soon. If not, I'll keep you guys up to date on that. So you guys be cool, and I'll see you later. Bye, y'all.